What if I told you that an army from the other side of the world nearly crushed Europe in just a few months? It's May 1241 in Wiener Neustadt, just 50 kilometers from Vienna. Alarm bells are ringing. Residents are barricading their doors. On the horizon, a swarm of horsemen appears. The Mongols. They've razed Kiev, annihilated the Hungarian army at Mohi, and nothing seems able to stop their advance. It's said they drink the blood of their enemies, fear nothing, and serve a colossal empire ruled from the steppes of Asia. A lightning-fast invasion, a Europe on the brink of collapse, and yet they stopped. Why? That's what we're going to uncover today in this video. Subscribe and dive with me into this story that's as true as it is surreal. But how did it come to this? How did soldiers from the Asian steppes end up in the heart of Europe? At the start of the 13th century, Europe was still in the shadow of its crusades. Power was fragmented. Kingdoms distrusted one another. The church tried to unite the people under the banner of Christianity, but internal conflicts weakened this fragile unity. Meanwhile, thousands of kilometers away, one man was changing history. Temujin, better known as Genghis Khan. Born in the Mongolian steppes around 1162, he unified the nomadic tribes through war, terror, and a formidable military organization. In just a few decades, he built the largest land empire the world had ever seen. By his death in 1227, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Caspian Sea to the Sea of China. But this was only the beginning. His sons and grandsons continued his conquests. Under the leadership of Ogedei, his successor, the empire launched a series of campaigns to extend its control westward. The great cities of Persia fell. Bukhara, Samarkand, then Baghdad a few years later. Batu Khan. The name is little known today, but in the 13th century, it was the embodiment of fear itself. Genghis Khan's grandson, Batu, was not just a military leader, he was a strategist. Calm, methodical, he commanded with almost mechanical precision. It's said he could execute attack plans from hundreds of kilometers away, and every soldier knew exactly what to do. Subutai, the true military mastermind of the invasion. Subutai led over 20 military campaigns, traveled more than 30,000 kilometers on horseback, a record never matched. He knew no fear. He anticipated enemy movements with almost supernatural intuition. It was he who devised the attack on Central Europe, with lightning strikes, feints, and decoys. In every battle, he struck where he was least expected. Meanwhile, Europe's rulers were divided. Bela, the fourth of Hungary, didn't immediately believe in the Mongol threat. Henry II of Silesia tried to muster a resistance, but it was too late. No one knew who was truly in charge of the defense. The armies were weak, scattered, and the church, though alarmed, had not yet grasped the scale of the danger. An unequal duel was brewing. On one side, cavalry from the steppes with relentless discipline. On the other, divided kingdoms, still blind to the magnitude of the threat. But to truly grasp the power of this war machine from the steppes, we must go back to the source. Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford masterfully recounts how one man redrew the boundaries of the world. This isn't just a story. It's a lesson in strategy, vision, and domination. And good news, you can listen to this masterpiece for free with the Audible trial offered. All you need to do is click the link in the description. Now, let's return to the battlefield. The Mongol horsemen are already on the move. The year 1236 marks the true turning point. While Europe is still focused on Jerusalem and its internal conflicts, the Mongols launch a lightning campaign against an often forgotten kingdom, Volga, Bulgaria. Located between the Volga and Kama rivers, this Muslim trading kingdom, powerful for centuries, controlled part of the routes to Russia and the steppes. But against the Mongol army, even its best defended fortresses couldn't hold. Batu Khan strikes swiftly, fiercely, without mercy. Cities are burned, populations massacred or enslaved. Volga, Bulgaria is literally wiped off the map in a matter of months. This is a shock to the peoples of northern Russia. One of the only natural barriers between Europe and the Mongols has just fallen. The dense forests of the Volga tremble under the hooves of horses. An army advances, silent, methodical. It's the Golden Horde. Before striking at the heart of Europe, the Mongols must first crush the Russian principalities. In 1237, the city of Ryazan is the first to fall. The Mongols surround the city, promising clemency if it surrenders. The Russians refuse. The response is brutal. Ryazan is razed, the population massacred, almost no survivors. It's a clear message: submission or death. Next is Moscow, still young and fragile at the time. In 1238, it falls as well. The defenders are overwhelmed. The city is looted, burned, its inhabitants scattered. At this moment, medieval Russia experiences one of its greatest traumas. The principalities retreat, disorganized, powerless against this army that seems to emerge from nowhere and strike everywhere. But the Mongols don't stop. Destroy Vladimir, then head north. Torchok, Tver, Kozelsk. One by one, the cities fall. And then, suddenly, they withdraw. Subutai orders a move south, toward the Black Sea. Not a retreat, but a strategic shift. Their true target is Central Europe. In December 1240, Kiev, the great Orthodox city, once a major center of the Slavic world, is on the verge of falling. The siege is long. The city resists, but is ultimately overwhelmed. The walls collapse, the streets are covered with corpses. Chronicles speak of tens of thousands dead. Kiev never truly recovers. And Europe finally understands that this threat is not a mere barbarian raid, but a global conquest. A few months later, Christian Europe was struck to the heart. The Mongols crossed the Carpathians into Poland. The plan is brilliant. Divide their forces, strike on multiple fronts, then converge for a final blow. In the west, a Mongol army heads toward Silesia. In the center, another advances toward Hungary. In the east, Subutai coordinates everything with unmatched logistical mastery for the time. On April 9th, 1241, in Legnica, Silesia, the first major confrontation between European knights and the Mongols takes place. Duke Henry II the Pious attempts to halt their advance with his allies, but the Mongols feign a retreat, luring the Christians into a trap, and then close the net. Henry is killed, his army annihilated. His decapitated body is later found, displayed on a pike. A few days later, in Hungary, an even more crucial battle unfolds. The Battle of Mohi. King Bela IV has assembled a massive army to defend his kingdom. The Mongols seem trapped, until, under the cover of night, they cross a river using a secret ford, bypass the defenses, and launch a surprise attack. The Hungarian army is slaughtered. Hungary, the heart of Central Europe, is brought to its knees, and the king flees. But the Mongols don't stop there. They sweep across the Danubian plain like a black tide. They burn Pest, ravage Transylvania, and raze the countryside. Thousands of villages disappear. Trade routes are cut off. Tens of thousands of refugees flee westward. In Vienna, panic drives the authorities to reinforce the city walls and organize defenses. Christendom calls for unity, but no one knows where to strike. The Mongols, meanwhile, seem to see everything, know everything. They intercept messengers, feign retreats, and strike where least expected. In spring 1242, they reach Croatia and the Adriatic coast. This is the westernmost point ever reached by the Mongol army, just 150 kilometers from Venice. Some accounts suggest the Mongols even approached the city of Split and the region around Trogir, where King Bela IV had taken refuge after the defeat at Mohi. The Mongols reportedly tried to capture him, but failed. The king managed to stay out of their reach, hidden by the local population. The Mongols then set out to ravage Serbia, followed by Bulgaria, a weakened and divided empire. They devastate the northern part of the country, particularly the Dobruja Plains and the Danube Valley. Cities are set ablaze. Byzantine chroniclers report the unprecedented violence of these incursions. In the aftermath, the Bulgarian Empire is forced to pay tribute to the Mongols. No one is left capable of stopping this colossal army. Europe is on the brink of collapse. And then, everything stops. Across Europe, bells ring out, not to warn of an attack, but to celebrate a miracle. The Mongols turn back without explanation, without besieging Venice, without pushing into Italy or Germany. The devastated cities remain silent. The battered, drained, but still standing kingdoms wonder, why? Why did they stop so close to their goal when nothing seemed able to halt them? The greatest danger Europe has ever faced vanished as suddenly as it appeared. The reason? A message from the East. Ogodai, the great Khan, is dead. According to Mongol tradition, all princes of the blood must return to Karakorum to elect the new ruler. Batu Khan, in the midst of his campaign, has no choice. He must abandon the conquest. He could have disobeyed, pushed on to Vienna, Venice, but he chooses to withdraw, slowly, methodically. Europe doesn't yet know it, but it has just escaped collapse, not through a victory, but because of a death thousands of miles away. This might be the greatest what if in history. What if Ogodai had lived one more year? What if Batu had continued his march? Would Europe today be the same? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. After their withdrawal in 1242, the Mongols never returned so deeply into Europe. They left behind devastated lands, traumatized kingdoms, and a fear that would mark the centuries to come. In Hungary, the consequences were catastrophic. Some estimates suggest nearly half the population perished in just 1 year. King Bela IV, a miraculous survivor, undertook a vast reconstruction of the kingdom, built fortified castles, and reformed the army. Russia, on the other hand, remained under Mongol occupation for nearly 2 centuries, a presence that would profoundly reshape the region's political, economic, and cultural landscape. Today, this story still resonates. It challenges us. How far can a desire for conquest go? And what happens when no one has the power to stop it? If this story captivated you as much as it fascinated me to tell it, give the video a like. It may be a small gesture for you, but it helps me immensely in providing quality content. And let me know in the comments, could Europe have resisted if the Mongols had pressed on to Rome, Paris, or Vienna? Or was it doomed to fall? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you, and above all, never forget, history never dies as long as we tell it.